Hey there, everybody. Matt Carter here.
And Jessica Carter from CARTERMATT.com.
And this is The Masked Singer. We are talking all about one key question in this video. Who is the Penguin? We have for you clues, theories, possibilities, possibly insane guesses. I have props because apparently I am now descending into Carrot Top, which I believe we originally thought of as one of the guesses for this season.
That's right, he was the egg.
I kind of have a penguin thing. I can't help it. It might actually be some sort of psychological issue with me.
You love the penguins.
I do love the penguins. I don't know if I love the penguin on The Masked Singer yet, but it's my favorite costume.
It's an amazing costume.
Yeah, we just don't know enough. And the thing is, there's no episode tonight. Blame baseball. That is what I'm doing. I do not care about either one of these teams. They can both lose, and now we are getting disliked by a lot of Astros and Nationals fans, but whatever. We're going to give you all the clues, though. We're going to break things down. We're going to try our best to give some good, educated guesses as to
also
who
my
Penguin
insane
is.
Theories, because I'm pretty sure I am wrong, but there's just so much in the clues that makes me feel like maybe.
Yeah, and Coco Vanderwolf has just decided to get in on the action as well, but before we get to sharing any of this, if you enjoy this video, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. We're going to have more Masked Singer coverage throughout this week, including some other guesses on other masked characters you will be seeing next week, so you don't want to miss any of that. But let's get into the Penguin and try to figure all of this out. We're going to go through, first and foremost, the clues that presented themselves on the Penguin's first episode, starting with just some criticism that the Penguin received, that she was not funny enough, she was not pretty enough, that these are some things that she was really hit with, and it seems as though they affected her on some level. The unfortunate reality here is I don't know how much this clue helps us, because unfortunately we live in a society where a lot of women are told these things, and
a lot of men are told these things. A lot of attractive people are even told these things. So I think it's people use this to just bring people down, whether they're attractive or not attractive or medium attractive. I think people just like to be like, oh, you're not pretty, you're not funny, you're not this. So trolls love to troll.
Well, I'm about to put myself in a dangerous place. I'm going to put myself in the head of a troll for a second here. This is my troll face. But no, basically, I think they're just like, what's the one thing that makes someone insecure? Now I'm just going to hammer at that online. And ultimately, I think that happens. The unfortunate thing, I don't think that gives us that much of an insight into who the Penguin is.
Yeah, because I feel like everyone has been put through this.
Yeah. Now, this part of it's a little bit more interesting to me. The idea that people said that the Penguin's career was over, and they showed this almost as like a news report, so this is someone who's been the subject of some newsworthy headlines, and the way that it was said in the clue package makes me think that it's someone who was told their career was over, but they kept persevering anyway.
Yes.
Does this open the door at all to you?
It definitely opens the door to a couple people for me, yeah.
Okay, cool. So we're getting somewhere right now.
What about you?
For me, yeah, I do think that it is starting to give me a sense, okay, we're dealing here with someone who has been the center of controversy, whether it be...
And it was newsworthy. So who's been in the headlines where their career is in shambles?
Yeah, just remember, The Masked Singer, this is not a show that is really trying to hit you with like the most obscure references ever. I don't think they're talking about a news report from 1983 here.
No, it's probably something recent enough that people will remember.
Yeah, take, the last 3 to 5 years, I would say. Pretty good time reference for that. So this part I didn't actually notice when we watched the episode the first time. I was doing the start and stop. This was my detective cap as opposed to my tinfoil hat, and just figuring some stuff out here. There's a screenshot, if you pause it at one point in the package, of a hit list that the Penguin has, which the Penguin may be a little bit more terrifying now that they have.
Yeah, it's a little dark.
Is the Penguin Arya Stark?
It's possible.
Man, if this was Maisie Williams, I would just fall over in my chair. It would be the greatest Masked Singer reveal in history.
Well, that would actually... Okay, you may have actually started to hit into something here. Because people have said that she's going to be Arya Stark for the rest of her life, and that's all she is. Her career would be done. Not pretty enough, not funny enough. That has been stuff that I've seen out there about her, even though she's gorgeous. Hit list? That makes sense, too. The Hound, Cersei, she had a list. Her whole, deal on the show was getting people on her list.
Also, the Penguin.
Dun, dun, dun.
I may have accidentally stumbled into something here.
You might have just backed up into something because she's also short and the Penguin's also short.
Well, every now and then, even the blind man grabs an acorn.
Yeah.
And, but
no, I'm starting to kind of gravitate on this hill because my guess is absolutely wrong.
Well, we'll get to that in a minute, but it is. We both got some rather terrifying guesses in honor of this being the Halloween season, but Penguin is short. Maisie Williams also short.
Yep.
But the people who are on this hit list, it is not the Hound, unfortunately. It is classroom bully, comedy club owner, casting director, exes, the press, and this one was especially interesting to me, herself.
Yeah.
That is curious. That either suggests that they are someone who is self-loathing on some perspective,
or they feel like they're their own worst enemy.
Or they're just very self-conscious and they're sort of aware of kind of their own mistakes and things that they may want to change in the past. But I think
they may be a little self-aware, which is good.
Yeah, it can be very good. I mean, I think the most obvious clue here is comedy club owner. That kind of suggests we're dealing with a comedian, unless this is someone who has just been thrown out of a comedy club at some point in the past.
It's possible.
Yeah, and I mean, if we want to go let's really kind of extrapolate on this idea. There were rumors about a political figure being on this season.
Yep.
Did a political figure maybe do a town hall or something in a comedy club?
It's possible.
Yeah, that feels like a venue that some of this stuff would happen in.
Yep.
So I don't think we can really necessarily rule anything out, but I think probably a comedy club where a comedian is sort of like, okay, we don't want you here, we don't think you're funny enough, or you're not selling enough. Casting director feels like maybe they've been shafted on some roles.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe they were, maybe they were fired from something they didn't think they were fired for. Maybe they struggled getting into the business right away. The press, that goes back to the...
Everybody.
Yeah, it really does, especially 2019. But
yeah, and I say that as someone who is the press.
Yeah, we know.
Everybody's been in it. We know.
We're all very aware. All right, now we also have the Penguin leading a march. I think maybe this may just be like a March of the Penguins joke, but it's also, I think, clear. The Penguin, pretty politically activated.
Yep.
Well, active, I should say. They're holding signs. They've got all their little bodyguards who look like characters in Men in Black also holding signs. There's something on one of them that says, "Give me the bird," which... probably is just a reference to her being the Penguin.
Yes.
Maybe she has done something obscene at some point in her life that's gotten headlines. So, leading the march, is it someone who has participated in either the climate march, the women's march, some of these other things that have happened?
May not be a march at all, just might be showing that she's a leader in politics.
Maybe she just likes parades.
That, I feel, is not the way they're going with it. Just putting that out there.
Probably not, but you never know, Masked Singer. We're on to you. Okay, we also heard a line that, I'm not your secretary. So there's a lot we can do with that.
Yeah, there's a lot with that.
Is this either a former political secretary, Secretary of State, Secretary of Education?
Yep.
Is this someone who appeared in the James Spader movie Secretary?
If Maggie Gyllenhaal shows up there, I'm gonna die. She's so incredible. I don't think that's her, but...
Yeah, none of the other clues. Oh, casting director, maybe Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Oh, here we
tried to be a comedian at some point.
Look at you, you're backing into something else.
Maggie Gyllenhaal, I think she's pretty small. I think the Penguin's very short. That's another clue.
Yeah, the Penguin feels like they're very small.
Yeah, so maybe it's Maggie Gyllenhaal, probably not, but, not your secretary. It's just something that's out there.
Except she was somebody's secretary, so I don't know.
Maybe she's not the secretary now.
Oh.
Or, the judges said something like, Jenna Fisher, maybe it's somebody who played a secretary on TV for a long period of time.
That's possible, too, because she is a comedian as well, and she's done stand-up.
Yeah, so...
And Michael Scott used to bother her about how she wasn't pretty enough.
So there you
go.
go.
We're backing into something else. Look at this. This video's bringing it all out.
See, do we really want to agree, though, with one of the judges, the guesses made by the at-time terrible judges on this show?
Sometimes they're right.
Sometimes they're right. Not all the time, but sometimes they're right.
No.
But we also have musically, what I thought was interesting in rewatching the Penguins' performances, they sounded really different from each other. One of them, she was doing Maren Morris, so she was doing something kind of country. And then the second performance, when she was doing the face-off with the Eagle, she was doing Worth It by Fifth Harmony. She was, like, dancing around. She was, like, getting low up there on the stage. Like, she was really... That felt to me that either she is a comedian or either she is someone who has no shame whatsoever.
Yeah, or somebody who's just really willing to put themselves out there to prove that they are funny enough or gritty enough or willing to do some fun stuff and be that fun person.
Yeah, and so I think when we look at all of this, we have a complicated picture that has been painted as we start to move into who our guesses could be for the Penguin. I mean, let's start with one that I've seen online a lot, and that is Sherry Shepherd. Part of The View at one point. She's also done a lot of different comedies. She's done plenty of TV. Like, I remember her really well from 30 Rock. She was on Mr. Iglesias recently. The thing is, though, is Sherry Shepherd's career over?
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it.
Like, I know that she's had, a lot of headlines about relationships over the past several years of her life.
Yeah, but who hasn't?
I know. Maybe that's a justification for the exes part of it. She has been judged a lot. She was on daytime TV. But it's just also, I've always thought like Sherry Shepherd was really talented and she could continue to do kind of whatever she would want to do, and she's still getting work, so I don't think her career is over.
Yeah, that part of it, the career is over, feels like the biggest clue that's out there.
And I'm not trying to say one way or another how politically active Sherry Shepherd is. I don't really know, but she's not, as someone who probably spends an unhealthy amount of time on Twitter every day, she's not someone I frequently see trending for some specific political remark that she has made. So that's the part of it that kind of makes me a little bit unsure. But let's get to some guesses that we've had. And now, the floor is yours.
Okay, so my guess, and I've said this before, and I feel like I'm wrong, but so many of these clues just fit, is Hillary Clinton. And that it's, she has been told not pretty enough, not funny enough. She has tried to put herself out there in a lot of ways by doing stuff like Between Two Ferns, and even if you look at her Twitter, she's got that she's like a pantsuit aficionado in her bio, and it just feels like a good fit. Not your secretary, she's political, she's a political leader. It's all there for me. Can she sing? That part I don't know. But I also never thought I'd see her on Between Two Ferns making jokes about her emails, which is a really serious thing. So can I see her doing this and getting down on the floor and stuff? I actually can.
This to me really qualifies for so crazy. It might actually be true.
Theory. I know it's insane. I get it. And I know I'm going to hear about it in the comments. You guys can come and tell me how wrong I am. I feel like I probably am. But man, these clues, they fit.
There are a number of things that do fit here. The politically active part of it, not your secretary.
Having a list and herself is on it?
That seems like something Hillary would do. Hillary has publicly blamed herself and her own misgivings before.
Yeah.
That part of it makes sense. The only parts of it that would give me pause, I don't know a lot about Hillary's exes and, any sort of relationship because, she's still with Bill. There's plenty of history there we don't need to get into. But, I think there is, that part of it doesn't line up fully. Comedy clubs, maybe she had an issue somewhere on a campaign stop.
She might have.
That might be something like that. The casting director part of it, I don't know. But The Voice...
She has been on stuff. She was on Murphy Brown. She was in Between Two Ferns. She's been in a few things, so I don't know.
Yeah, she's been on Madam Secretary as well. So, she has made appearances on scripted TV shows. Yeah. She is short. She is someone who I think would go up there and would try to have a lot of fun. She is, I know she's been kind of doing, I don't know if she's doing it right now, some sort of speaking tour. Maybe this is sort of like promotion for that because...
Yeah, and, you know, people thought her career was over after she lost the presidency, so it all just fits.
Okay. Well, I'll give a couple of the guesses that I've been sort of thinking about.
However, now I'm circling around your Maisie Williams one because that's kind of feeling good as well.
It's a fun one, and I think, you know, I try to think a lot about comedians. Who are comedians that this could be? Kathy Griffin is one that makes a lot of sense. Because Kathy Griffin, you know, there really were thoughts that her career was over. She had a very public, very specific sort of incident that was really public, and she has been self-deprecating about it. You know, it seems like she would have issues with comedy club owners, with casting directors. I don't know her relationship history. I don't know so much about the exes part of it.
And I don't know about the secretary thing, how that's fitting in.
Maybe she played a role of a secretary at some point.
Maybe somewhere around there.
The voice, though, I mean, I've heard enough of Kathy Griffin over the years. The voice, I mean, she has a voice that I think would come through when she sings. I don't know if she could hide it. It doesn't sound like her voice when she's singing. That's the big problem I'm kind of with. Yeah. Now, the other one I thought about earlier was Sarah Silverman, who, you know, you know, she's very funny. She would definitely be willing to do some of this. You know, I heard her on the Bill Simmons podcast talking about how she has lost roles because of stuff that she did on the Sarah Silverman program, so she could have issues with casting directors, comedy club owners. You know, it doesn't seem like she and Jimmy Kimmel are on bad terms, so...
No, but I also don't think her career is over. Like, that's another thing, right? Like, is her career over? I don't think it is.
I think this is the sticking point, everyone. This is where...
It is. It's the career is over feels like the big clue.
Yeah.
Who has been in the news enough where it feels like they're done? And that's why it was kind of interesting about that Jenna Fisher idea as well, because it's, again, she's Pam. Forever. Anything she does, this is the way it is. And it sometimes happens with people when they get that role, like, you're Chandler Bing, and you're Chandler Bing forever. No matter what you do, it's very hard to get out of that. And she's one of those people where it's, she can do some other stuff, but unless you're Pam, what's happening here?
And, I mean, that's why I think Jenna Fisher, it's a pretty good guess. I mean, she did do Splitting Up Together. It ran for a couple of seasons. But, I mean, at the same time, it just feels like she never had a public moment where it was like, your career is over. The only two names that I think really qualify for that are your Hillary Clinton guess.
And Kathy.
Yeah, and Kathy. Those, to me, are the two. But we've done our best to spell things out for all of you. Maybe you guys have some clarity you can impart on us.
Yes, please. Leave it in the comments. Tell us who the penguin is, because our guesses...
We're waddling over into oblivion here with these guesses.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, though, this one's fun to me because I think it is one there's a lot more confusion out there than some others. So share in the comments, and if you enjoyed our breakdown and discussion, give us a like, subscribe, and you can support us further by checking the link in the description to the CARTERMATT store. And we'll see you guys here next time.